All right, I usually do a fade in, so I need to talk about something in the meantime. But I'm not going to use the dialogue we had before. Look, I told you the cat would make an appearance.
Come on, you need to take your seat. It's almost time.
Well, I don't know what I was going to say about that. I was going to try to say something witty, but here we are. Welcome to another episode of High Resolution Life. I really fell off the bandwagon January and February. So, yes, that kind of tends to happen, though. I usually have, like, a period of time where...
You go into hibernation like I do?
Shit hits the fan. Yeah. I got sick. I got the flu. I think influenza A? I don't remember. I don't know. So the flu is a thing again, guys. Watch yourself. Don't touch no one. Don't kiss no one. Don't lick no one.
Do all those things.
Don't listen to him. And the quality of the video podcast has gone up significantly, and hoping that the audio will reflect that as well. You can give us some feedback on, hey, it sounds great. Hey, it sounds like shit. But if you think it sounds like shit, I'd like to see you do better. So figure it out.
We in 4K, baby.
We in 4K, baby. We're doing it live. But Kevo is back. He took time out of his schedule and putting up with my hangover because I don't know my limits anymore. And I had to postpone the taping because I was half dead. So thanks for your patience on that one.
No problem.
So we're going to talk about open mics and just more music stuff that's been going on. Because last time, this is a little bit of an update podcast. And sort of keeping people in the loop of open mics that are coming up, music events, and... just general shit talking, right?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
No, I'm kidding. Probably I haven't just talked shit on myself. All right, Kevo. So what has you busy? You have some recordings that you're working on. Tell me about what's going on in your music stuff.
So I was in a band, Mediocre Gatsby. I guess we're still kind of active. The other members in Austin, Texas right now. He's in another band called Compilations, and they were releasing off of a record label out of Austin.
Sorry,
Bless you.
Dad sneeze.
Yo, yeah, that is a dad sneeze. In fact, I have like a little like my own label like is called Dad Sneeze Records.
It's called Dad Sneeze. It's a specific kind of sneeze.
It says nothing's louder. And
I sneezed like that once at the VFW, and I kept sneezing and sneezing. Everyone's like, "You don't get any more. Shut up!" And I said, "I'm sorry. My dad didn't give me enough attention growing up. It's not true. It's not true at all." And then everybody flipped and went, "Oh, you poor thing." I'm like, "No, it's not true. My dad loves me. He's present in my life. I just made the joke." Continue.
If only there was a volume button for sneezes, huh?
I know.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I know.
But anyway, my friend Greg, we did all these recordings during COVID, and they were just rough recordings. He's like, send them to me. I got someone that's going to mix and master them and release them off of a label. So we're releasing them off of Diverse Course Records. We just released our first single. It's called Oh Feruza. It's about how much I like goth girls. Feruza Bulk from the
I'm safe.
from The Craft.
I'm just pale right now. Did you perform that one yet?
Yep, yeah, I do that one sometimes, like acoustically, but yeah. So we got 3 more songs to release, and it's gonna be a good time. I think we're gonna stay active, and we're just gonna play music from afar, like pen pals, kind of, and maybe I'll make it down to Austin, play some shows with them.
Long distance band relationship.
Yeah, right.
Is this the trip you keep trying to get me to go to hit some of the comedy clubs?
Yeah, we need to get you on Kill Tony. I think you would kill on there.
Hence, Kill Tony. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rad.
That would be fun. Our buddy Ridge was on Kill Tony.
Yes, he was. I think he got a big joke book. I think that's like the best. The best thing you can get is a golden ticket, which means you can be on there.
That's
like,
so original. I got the golden ticket. Somebody watched too much Willy Wonka.
And one of your favorite comics, Tim Dillon's on there a lot. He's on the panel like a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That'd be pretty rad. You get to meet him, and Ari's on there. Oh, no. Ari's always naked on there.
That's what I just want. That's what I want to see. More naked men. Just what I want to see.
Yeah, it's hard to see an episode without Ari getting naked on there and talking to people.
I apparently can't even make this face anymore without asking for the wrong kind of attention.
Hit the comments.
It's a whole new meaning to F around and find out. Leave a comment of what you think this face reminds you of and get blocked.
Smash that like, winky face, hit the comments. Just kidding. Besides that, I'm in the process. I write I personally write like about 100 songs a year, like lyrically.
You're nuts.
And then I go through them. Well, most of them are trash. That's why I don't do anything with them. Most of them are literally trash.
How? You just sit down and you're just like, you have a cup of coffee.
I make it a process. Like I got to write a certain amount of songs every week. So, and I've been doing that since I was 15. And before that, I first started writing songs when I was 10, actually. When I started listening to my dad's Motown music and stuff.
I think you had mentioned a little bit about that on the last podcast. So you still, how do you... Yeah, I think you had told me I was like sad one day and you're like, write a song about it. I'm like, ew, acknowledging my feelings? Yeah, we don't do that here.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think you can write happy songs because I've heard you do it. And I think happy songs are the hardest thing to write. I write miserable, sad songs like, I'm going to go to hibernate in my coffin all winter songs. You know, that kind of stuff, you know? And then you wrote this song about being an introvert one time.
I did!
And it's like...
I wrote about my bookshelves. I wrote about my cats.
Yeah, it's like it's a really beautiful song. I want you to do it again.
Okay.
Like, I haven't heard that one for a while. You should record that one. That's a
I
good
need
song.
to write some new songs, but I might have to wait until April once all of my other music projects have... There's Easter, there's Passover, there's Jesus Christ Superstar. There's a lot of religion going on.
When is that? I think that's going to be pretty popular.
Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah.
That one's going to be... Let me double check here. It's going to be, I think, the second week in April. I'm not going to have a life. I'm going to be an absent friend. So it is going to be at McGarvey's. And it is actually... When is it, Annette? Figure it out. What? When is it? First week of April, first and second week of April.
So make sure to get tickets for that because
Wednesday,
that's going to
Thursday,
sell
Friday.
out. Yeah.
Yep, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Wow, that's...
April 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Wednesday, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th.
And it's cool to see like a musical like that in such like an intimate atmosphere. It's a nice stage. It's a smaller stage, and it's a smaller area, so it's cool. You're like right up and personal in that, and it's kind of like punk rock in a way. You know?
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's really great. Rich is a great guy. So not to be mixed up with Ridge. We've had this thing where people mix up Rich and Ridge. Phonetics. It's fun. So people keep mixing them up. Very different people. Rich McGarvey owns and runs McGarvey's, and he's been expanding into music theater. So Tony approached me about being the second pianist for it, and I haven't done that in a while. So I was like, as long as I don't have to sell my soul to you music theater devils, and I'd lose my entire life for like 2 months. No. As long as it's just like tech week and stuff like that, fine by me. So he said, no, you're fine. You have a life. Don't worry about it. We have a deal. You have my soul for 2 weeks. So my soul belongs to Tony and the cast of Jesus Christ Superstar for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I saw some of the actresses that are going to be in it. And actors,
oh yeah,
and it's going to be a really cool amount of people playing that. That's gonna be great.
Oh, exactly. Sorry, we had a temperature shift. I gotta grab a tissue. Keep talking.
All right, all good.
Yeah, we had a snow squall here. Spring forward, and then wake up to freaking wind.
That's why I'm tired,
snow.
because it's like not used to the times.
I know. No,
Man,
that's far.
The cat already peeled out. She had enough of this podcast.
What you would have to do is put CBD oil on you, because last time when Doug was here, I don't know if you got to watch that podcast, he kept licking Doug's arm because it was some kind of lemon CBD oil, and
I bet she was having a great podcast.
We were trying to figure out, is this healthy? Is this okay for the... Oh, you're thinking... I don't think he has the CBD oil rub on his skin.
No CBD oil. I only have a couple hits of acid for you today. Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't do that.
So other things, other stuff you have going on.
Yeah. So I write all those songs, and I'm going through them right now to see which ones I want to demo. So I'm going to demo all the songs, and then I usually send them out to some friends that like do music production and stuff, and just friends that have a good ear. I'll probably bother you and send you some songs.
Sure.
And just see what they think about it too, because it's like when making music, it is really good to get like a lot of ears on it, especially people. I'm very modest when I say this. I like to pal around people sometimes that are better or have more experience in music than I do, because it kind of helps you grow. You got to take away your ego and just,
If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've had to, it's been really hard for, ooh, ego. It's really hard for me to find some of those rooms sometimes. Wow.
Damn. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm okay, I'm always surrounded by a lot of guitarists who are better than me, and they've inspired me to pick up guitar, and things like that. So I'm kidding when I say that. I'm just being a little sarcastic bitch.
You're fine. But yeah, besides that, I mean, then, we're always doing open mics.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted, the central thing. I guess starting with the open mics and wherever the conversation goes from there. But so your open mic, tell me about yours. Some when did you start it? Was it passed off to you? How did this all go at Juniata Brewing Company?
Well, I started doing open mics like 12 years ago.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, at the brewery in State College, we would do. I would have like an hour for the first hour of the shows I'd put on. Hey, buddy, I would do. I would have it be an open mic.
Whoa.
She wanted to sing her new song. She helps write songs too.
She's part of one of them. Actually,
yes.
My cats are part of 2 songs.
So I found that like doing open mics is sometimes more enjoyable than putting on shows, because almost every time you go to an open mic, you're going to find a new artist that's kind of going to be like, wow. And the person will be like, oh, this is the first time I tried this. And you, like, it's like, wow, you should have been doing this for years. You sound great. Yeah. And I always think anyone, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Everybody has like potential. Like there is like inner talent in people. Like some people just got it, you know what I mean? But like, I think everybody can have the ability to get good at something. Some people have to work harder at it. I had to work very hard at it. But yeah. So like, I just love the fact that there's people that tried open mics, and yeah. Sometimes I bomb at open mics. Sometimes other people bomb at open mics, but the ones that bomb always come back, and I love that. And then a lot of them end up being like really good.
You're not always going to be on 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what was your? Did you start doing open mics before you started performing? How did that go for you?
I got passed on to do brewery shows by a friend of mine named Greg. He was like in hardcore punk bands, and he's like, I can't do shows anymore. I don't got time. So I started doing these. We used to call it Punk Show Thursdays, and then we started calling it Donkey Show Thursdays.
Why Donkey Show?
I don't know. I thought it would draw people in, I guess.
Donkey Show? Wait, did you have anybody show up hoping there were donkeys?
I hope not. I don't think so. We had some shady characters, but usually they just drank. But yeah, so I would book like, some nights I would book like 5 bands, and we like compress it into 5 hours.
So this was kind of an open mic format, or?
Well, at first it wasn't. At first it was just punk shows. And
okay.
I mean, the sound guys hated me because they were like resetting up like 5 punk bands, and a lot of them would bring their own drums. So yeah, it was a pain.
That's the worst.
So then they were like, yo, we need to cut this down to like 3 bands. I'm like, well, my whole idea was like, I don't want to make money from this, because at the end of the night, I want to make sure everybody gets a little money and stuff. And I was like, well, let's make the first hour open mic. That way we can get my whole idea is to get as many people on stage as we can.
There you go.
So yeah, the first hour we'd have it be an open mic. And it actually ended up being, I loved all the bands that played, don't get me wrong, but like the open mics started being more enjoyable than the punk shows afterwards. And so I did that for years.
That's a great format, though.
Yeah, it was great. And then I got passed on the. At first, it was Andrea's art studio. Andrea Darby. I don't know if you know her. She's a great artist. She lives in Huntington. She had an art studio, and she was putting on open mics. She passed that on to me. That was before COVID, and I did that for a while. Then she closed down the shop, and then I went to Juniata Brewing Company, and I've been doing that ever since.
And when was the Juniata Brewing Company open mic established?
2019.
2019.
So it's been going on a bit, yeah.
Cool.
It took a while to grow. Like not only do I want people to, as many people as I want to perform and get a bunch of new performers, like I want them to have a crowd. Like,
yeah, you so do important. Get pissed about that. If there's not, you're like, damn it. I can just see you stewing. You're like this little angry Italian man in the corner. You're like, no, people showed up.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes we'll get a packed house.
Right.
And then sometimes, and like I do a lot of marketing, so I get people in there. I want people to perform, and I want those performers to perform in front of as many people as possible because it feels really good. And like it kind of like when they hear that applause, you can tell that it like gives them like inspiration, and it makes them want to do it more. You know? Yeah. I love that.
Exactly. I think first time I had performed at your open mic, it was last August.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
It was August, and I did a comedy bit. That one was fun. It was the one about if the jujitsu don't save me, the opera will.
Oh, and you did this thing where you were going to sing opera until people stopped, but people liked the opera, so no one stopped.
They just wanted me to keep singing Porque Sapete, so it backfired on me. I was like, one of you has to tell me to stop at some point if you didn't catch the gist of the bit. But they ended up liking it.
It still worked, though.
It still worked.
Because your commentary in between like made people laugh. So
that was fun.
Pretty rad,
yeah. And open mics have been great for me to experiment with like what my comedy style is and how I even got started with doing comedy. I never conceptualized myself as a comedian. It didn't even occur to me that I'm funny. I don't know why, but I just always was like, boy, this situation sucks. You know what would make it better? A joke. And that's just like...
Yeah, I was really surprised you said you've only been doing comedy for like a year.
Yeah,
you were a little more than a year, right? Something like that?
Yeah, I think my first bit that I tried out. Why? Oh my god, I hate when my accent comes out like that.
Oh,
out.
You little Southern belle.
No, I'm not. It's an Appalachian accent. Ew. Ew. I hate when that happens. It's like what do you want to say? It's a slip. Like
in her free time, she lives in a shack up on the hill. She makes moonshine.
I make moonshine, bitches.
She has a cauldron and she casts spells.
Where was I going with that? Come on, Annette. Oh, yeah, it was, I think the first bit I tried out was in May. I was roasting my own eyebrows. Because I got them Sephardic, Italian, Spanish eyebrows. Well, didn't have to introduce them to each other because they had already met. Everybody said it wasn't that bad. Everybody said it wasn't that bad, but it was that bad. It was. I don't care what anyone says. It was pretty bad.
But at least you tried it. You know what I mean?
I did it.
Yeah, and then like
what the tweezing the eyebrows?
No. The comedy routine.
Comedy is hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It is hard.
I've only tried it like 1 or 2 times, and like.
Was it at open mics?
It was at. I used to put on punk and comedy shows.
Ooh.
So we'd have 3 comedians, and then after that we'd have a bunch of punk bands playing.
Ooh.
But yeah, I tried it because one of the people wasn't able to make it, so we had 10 minutes to kill. 10 minutes in comedy is like a lot of time.
Unless you got Betty Bruce over here.
No, yeah, you like you improv a lot, and that's wild because I think that's even harder. But I think I bombed, but I think I got pity claps, so it kind of made me feel happy.
There you go. At least people feel bad.
They're like. It gave me a little golf clap.
Do you get a lot of comedians at Juniata Brewing? Because I had to miss a couple because my life went to shit in October.
Not as many as I'd like to.
Not like shit. It just there was a lot of ducks I couldn't get in a row in October.
No, I feel you were busy. Yeah, not as many as I'd like to. Like I'd like to have it more mixed up sometimes. You know, like I love all the people that perform and stuff, but I know a lot of those performers that say that they'd want to do like different things, and like me, they're kind of timid sometimes. And
I've been trying to push you to do some comedy.
I have a ton of bits written, but I feel like I'm gonna forget about them. I have a bunch written about like having grown up with an Italian mom, and there's like
come on, those are so funny. Yeah. You should.
I think they'd be cool. But like like I said, like I'm. The things I say aren't always the things I do. Like, I'm really timid when I perform at open mics sometimes. I'm like, all week I'm gonna play this new song, and we'll see how it goes. I don't care how it goes, you know what I mean? As long as I did it.
I'm chill. I'm
vibing. Yeah, and then when I get there, I'm like, never mind, I'm playing all my old songs. Because I know how to play them right.
I hate how that happens. I hate that. I still get that sometimes.
Every once in a while, I'll do it, you know, like, I'm getting better at it, too. Yeah.
Comedy is hard. Music, what I like about it is it's set out, it's mapped out, but there's improving in music too, which I feel plays out well. For me, I just have practice. I don't know if you do you do a lot of improv when you're playing music?
Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I'll like, I'll just go, if I feel like people aren't vibing with it, like I'll go off and I'll try to do like some little rinky dink solo or something.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yeah, I'll be like, look at this.
How would I don't understand some things about comedy, even though I have been doing comedy there for a year. There's still some things I don't understand. I think there is a certain amount of coping mechanism of finding a silver lining or something that's funny in a fucked up way about a situation. There's that. And then there's also a hint of like a certain amount of sarcasm. There's a certain amount of intelligence. And then there's a certain amount of emotional intelligence. I'm always surprised at how nice comedians are. Now, some are dicks, but the comedians that tend to be like really good and not embarrassing themselves all the time, they're actually like, tell me your experience, the majority are like nice people, which shocks me.
Some of their personalities do not match what I think they are on stage, because a lot of them, some of them are like really shy. And it's like, because I'll like go up to them and I expect them to still act like that, and they're like, hey, how you doing, you know? And like, and they'll usually like sit in the back after they're done performing, you know, and it's cool because I think that's like, maybe some of them are really shy and introverted people, and that's how if they do that, it makes them feel better and it helps them, you know, get out there a little more, you know.
I'm a very well socialized introvert, but I don't recharge by being around people. I have to be alone. I have to not talk to people. So I wonder if there's a certain element of being a little bit introverted that's part of it. Like, they all want to get away and be on their retreats, like what R.A. Shafir goes and hikes in the woods. I hate hiking. There's certain things in the past couple months I am okay with saying, I hate hiking. I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. I don't want to be in the woods. I don't want to look at no animals. I don't want to be walking over rocks. Why? Why do we have to hike? We created cities and civilizations so we don't have to be in friggin' woods. Like, why? Why do you like hiking? What is wrong with you people?
I like to pick up snakes in the woods.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that you like hiking.
And I love bears. No, it's totally okay. But I like to do things that could possibly kill me, but I just love animals and stuff.
Okay. Well, I wasn't saying any of that to you in a way that I was demeaning who you are as a person. I was just being completely self.
You're totally fine. I was trying to give you an explanation why I hike.
Explain yourself.
I hike with the possibility of dying.
You're the devilish.
See, maybe
is that why you like goth girls?
Yeah. I'm like that self-loathing comic that's just never gonna comic.
I'm kind of a self-loathing comic myself. I pick on myself a lot.
I think you have to in that type of. There is so many steps in comedy though. There's like, and that parts that I do not understand yet. And the only way I'm gonna understand is if I actually do them. Like the whole setup. And it's all about timing. Yeah. It's about how you say things. You got to make sure you enunciate everything perfectly.
Yeah, if you mumble.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole story's like totally ruined. I've seen comics do that. Mm-hmm. A lot of new ones. And like, I'm not saying it was bad at all, but like...
You're allowed to say it's bad. I just shit all over hiking. So like, why are we holding back here?
No, they had a great premise and stuff. It just took away from the whole entire thing because they didn't enunciate what they were saying and they didn't use... Yeah.
They sounded like the teacher from Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
You do have to speak very clearly. So have you seen... Well, okay, you haven't had as many comedians at your open mics, but like... what should they expect from open mics? What are the usual sort of deals? Like, there's a lot in the area. I think there's more like in the, whoo! Okay, Annette, stop sounding like Pepe from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Let's reel it back in here. You're thinking of 5 different things you can talk about, and you're trying to say it all at once, and you just sound crazy, so let's pull it together
Pepe
here.
Sylvia?
Yeah! I love that meme with the mailman. That's one of my favorites. Because I feel like I do that sometimes because my brain's running on like 500 miles an hour and I always forget to slow down.
I wish I remember the name of the person he said didn't exist when he was in the mailroom.
I can't remember. I have to watch that. I reference that bit all the time and I hope people understand what I'm saying. I think most people are just giving me a pity laugh. They're like, and that's funny, I guess. But what are the usual acts that you see in Huntington or maybe contrast with kind of the different vibes that you get from different places? What is your experience?
There are certain regulars at each one, but then there's always like new ones. I've seen a lot of new ones at yours, especially Levity. There usually is 1 or 2 new ones, if not more. Yep. We get a lot of poetry and we get a lot of music. And what's really cool about open mics right now is we all have like pre-signups because they fill up really fast. Open mics around here are like booming right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's awesome.
They are. For Central Pennsylvania. It's so weird.
Yeah, and I do a little more beyond what I really even need to do sometimes. Like I will print off little posters and I'll put them up around places for an open mic because
I should do that sometime.
I always want to bring like, you know, if I bring like 2 more people in, if I have a couple new people like that I see at the open mic, I'll actually come up to them and I'll be like, yo, thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate your support.
Yeah.
And I ask them if they do any arts themselves, and a lot of the times they do. But they come to an open mic a couple of times just to see how it is before they actually like take a chance.
They dip their toe in the water.
Yeah. We get a lot of musicians and poetry. We get some comedy. It's a good mix, and each one's a lot different. Like, yeah. You get a lot of comedy.
I do at Levity and at McGarvey's.
Yeah.
But what is the vibe that you feel you bring in? Like, if you had to describe the aesthetic, or if you had like a mood board for it, what would you say Juniata Brewing Company's open mic vibe is?
I'd say it's like very welcoming.
It is.
Yeah.
Except I got yelled at by some guy because I was having too good of a time laughing during somebody's poetry reading. I got stabby. He calls me Stabs because I have a temper. So this guy came over, he's like, have a little respect. It's a poetry reading. And I was not having it. I was sitting right in front of you. I didn't even hear. I thought you guys were like whispering. We were even a little quieter. Yeah, we were even a little quieter than you and I are talking right now.
Yeah.
Like, how dare a woman have fun? I'm still mad about it.
But listen, open mics wouldn't be the same with a couple stabs here and there, you know.
I can only be friends with people who find my temper to be entertaining. If it's like, ooh, you need to simmer down. You know what? Challenge accepted. I'll get angrier. Why am I like this?
No, I love it. It's great.
I take after my mom.
Another thing I have been finding out that like, and I've seen this a couple times. I've seen people that are like a couple people that are like bar owners and stuff from other places. They come to these open mics. And
really?
Yeah, and sometimes they like they'll come up to some, I think they're looking for new acts to book. So opportunities come from these too. Yeah. So
that's how that goes.
Yeah. And you know, if some people have never played a show before, that's like a really great honor to like be asked to play a show instead of doing what I had to do and book like and like message like 200 different places in the area and get one show from it.
Right?
Yeah. It is a grind. Arts is a grind.
It is. It's certain kind of people with a sort of slight, perhaps undiagnosed mental disorder or some kind of obsessive compulsive element to being an artist.
Yeah, and something,
really is.
Something I found out with art is like if you do have a creative side to you, and I think most people do, it's cool to be like multifaceted. Like and I learned this myself. Like I was always music, and then I found out, you know, I expanded myself. I tried to learn something different every month. Whether I was good at it or not, I tried to learn it, and I found out that a lot of things that I was pretty decent at, that I wanted to learn more of. Like I started doing art. I started painting. You know, I start my woodworking. I have my weird museum. You know, like and I only do these things because I just love creative endeavors. And it makes me happy.
Yeah, life is short. You want to do...
I think a lot of people are like that, so...
Yeah, life is short. Everybody has some way that they can be creative or expand themselves or express themselves. I've tried golf.
How's that?
Obviously, I am not a golfer. Name that movie.
Oh, Lebowski.
Yes! Yeah. I'm not a golfer. I tried it. My buddy Bruce was introducing me to golf. We went out to the driving range, and I did it. I got okay at it, but... it's not for me.
Did it take out your aggression to hit golf balls?
No, because the balls were too small. They take skill to aim the golf club at them.
I see you being more of a dodgeball person.
True, I could do that.
I feel like
I'm okay with pool.
You would dodgeball with bowling balls.
that would be satisfying. But so those are ways that I've expanded myself and tried different things too. I tried golf, pool. I'm okay at pool. I like playing pool, but golf. Just didn't. But yeah, I agree with you. You know, people should try different things that they wouldn't expect themselves to be able to do, not even just in a creative aspect. What were some things that you tried doing or tried on and just were not for you?
Tattooing.
You tried out tattooing?
I have a tattoo gun. I've never tattooed anybody.
Did you tattoo yourself?
No, I would never tattoo anybody unless I was really good at it. I have like a bunch of fake skin.
Where do you get fake skin?
I know a guy. No, it's not. It's not real fake skin. Like it's like called fake skin. It's like some type of silicone or something. Yeah, I know. One of the D'Agostinos. But yeah, I'm. It's something that I have to like circle back on.
You do have a bunch of land. I don't know if you're like.
Yeah, right. I push too hard, so I feel like I'd be like stabbing somebody, and it wouldn't be a good experience if I tattooed.
My gosh, I don't have any, and everybody's always surprised by that.
Nothing. Nothing. That's good. That's good.
I don't have any tattoos.
Oh no, I thought you meant like what you've tried. And like haven't.
Golf.
Oh, golf. Okay.
No, not for
golf.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not down for golf. Curling. I did it. I had a good time. Shout out to Heather. Hey, girl. I did it with her, but it is just not. I'm not into it. It's not my thing.
Is it too slow? Is that the problem?
Ooh, it might be.
Wait, did you do it on ice?
Curling, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I did it on ice.
Did you do the broom?
Yeah, I did the broom and everything.
Wow.
Maybe it felt too much like housework. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. It seems any of these like Scottish-based sports just did not click with me. Maybe with golf, if I was hitting an actual skull. Maybe that would be so much more satisfying.
I mean, like William Wallace type battle might be your
That
thing.
might be more of my thing.
Yeah.
If there's not like a threat of violence or actual violence occurring, it seems like I'm just not into it.
We can paint you up like Mel Gibson and
Freedom! Yeah, that's been fun at open mics. I've had a lot of people be like, this was my first time doing comedy in front of everybody, and I feel honored. I'm like, oh, I can make a joke. I'm going to leave that go. Things like that. I'm like, yay, I have your open mic virginity. Is that too much? No, it was funny. That was just enough.
I would say to people that never tried, like, doing the arts that they think that they would want to try, like, there's never an age that's too old.
Yeah, do it. One of these ladies, I love following her, Betty Broadhurst. She started jiu-jitsu in like her late 50s, I
Hell
think.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, she didn't like all of the like divorcee, she didn't like the paint and sips, and she didn't like all those different kinds of hobbies that women are expected to pick up, so she decided to get into jiu-jitsu in her late 50s, and now she's a black belt.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Wow, good for her. That's awesome. Yeah.
Obviously, she has to modify her game, and you have to make modifications to what you do in any martial art, depending on what age you are. Maybe, I don't know. I do stuff with X guard, but I don't do anything with like spider guard. So my jiu-jitsu nerds out there, what? They know what I'm saying. Anyone else who's a normal, well-adjusted person is sitting here like, huh? So yeah, it's not like an age thing. Like, oh, I didn't learn how to play piano when I was 10, so I can't do it now. Like, that's not true at all. And like, I'm really sick of this whole like, I didn't do it as a kid, so I can't do it mentality.
I had that mentality when I reached my 30s.
How'd you get over it?
Well, for some reason, when I turned 30, I was like, I'm old. I know, right? So I was like,
like, life is just starting.
It's time for me to hang it out.
No, your 30s are.
I know.
How did you get over that then?
I don't know. I just saw other people like that, like older than me, that were. Some of them were even starting. Like, there was this one band called Beach Slang, and the lead singer Alex, he didn't get famous until he was like 44, and they were like this really popular punk band in Philly, and like I was like, whoa, okay, and I watched some like interviews on him and documentaries, and it was cool. Like he just didn't quit. And like he like risked it all, and like it could have went really bad for him. Like, and it like worked.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't work for everybody, but it doesn't mean like quit trying, because you don't want to be on your deathbed being like, I'm glad I played it safe.
That sounds boring.
Yeah,
well,
right.
Is it more? I think I can relate. Is there another freaking snow squall coming? I don't know if you guys can see. It is snowing. Yes, you can see it. Look at the snow. This is ridiculous.
Do you know when they filmed The Wizard of Oz, they used asbestos for fake snow?
No! What?
It's pretty wild, right?
Everybody that was on that set had cancer after that.
30s were wild.
Oh my god, they did so many crazy things with that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, open mics might be a place where you could start and discover a new part of yourself that you didn't know. I never would have tried comedy if it weren't for open mics. Like, there was some other people I'd seen do their bits, and a couple of my friends had encouraged me. They're like, usually I had a couple drinks and I would just start cracking jokes or roasting some people that were on stage. Usually they had a good reason. I'm not just a hater for no reason.
Well, a lot of people
She's
have...
licking you!
I know. You're adorable.
Why does she do this every time now?
I don't know. That's my... I use lotion. Hopefully... Yeah, they can't taste good. But I like you too, buddy. You're a good kitty.
Wait, maybe... Is it like... Don't tigers do that? Or don't like,
I think so. Maybe she's like eyeing me up. Maybe she wants to eat me. She's going to take a big chunk out of my arm. And that's okay. She has dreams too. This is her creative endeavor. I think a lot of people have that self-doubt monster in them that says they're not good at... They're like, I'm not going to try because I'm not good at it. But I think you're going to find out that you're going to be a lot better at something than you think you are because your self-doubt really makes you feel worse sometimes. And I have that a lot. I take critiques better than compliments. I mean, but it does feel good now. Like now that I'm kind of growing into myself, that, it feels good when people tell you you're good at something, and it was something that is like your art form,
Yeah. I'm usually suspicious of compliments. I like them, but critiques usually are a little bit more useful, but then sometimes critiques are annoying because sometimes they're annoying because I'm just like, you don't even do this. You don't even go here. That's usually, if I have an issue with a critique, it is if somebody actually doesn't do it themselves. Like, all the times that guys give me jokes, and they're like, you should use this on stage. You should do this. You know what you could do to make this funnier? And I'm just like, I'm not impressed. Can you just, like, shh. Adults are talking.
You're like, try it. Try it. Like,
I'm like, you do it then. Oh, I'm too scared. Then, shut up.
I love that.
That's what I don't like. Well, and I mean, okay.
Yeah, some compliments aren't coming from the most genuine place, and some criticisms aren't coming from the most genuine place.
That's the thing,
either.
you got to filter them out. It's hard. It's hard, and it's like...
It's hard to understand people. People are complicated.
Well, then when you put yourself on stage to something that holds people back that is a legitimate fear, you do have to make sure you're in a place where you can take that visibility. Because it's not easy. It's not fun. We'll go over to the not fun side of open mics. The amount of unwanted comments that I've dealt with in regards to my appearance, the amount of attention that I've gotten that is not really wanted. Everyone's like, it must be so nice to be pretty. I'm like, no, I am a weirdo bug magnet. Like, one time I was at an open mic. I don't think you were there. This is when I met Jesse. I was at an open mic and a guy just outright sexually harassed me and propositioned me. Before I was getting ready to go up and do a bit, and my friends at the table begged me to change the bit, and I just seemingly roasted him to his face, and he just sat there mortified, because he didn't know I was doing comedy. Because I guess you would say I look like a comedian, but most people say I don't look like a comedian. Because most female comedians, I feel, have a different vibe. Most people don't. Apparently I don't give off comedian vibes.
Well, I think your personality says comedian, though.
But my looks, I think, don't.
No, I don't think looks... I don't know. I personally don't think looks have anything...
It shouldn't have anything to do with it, but I've had people say to me, you don't look like you're funny. I'm like, thanks, bitch. Like...
Some people just don't know how to people,
Yeah. But that was an open mic experience I've had that has not been fun. And there was one time, the earlier open mics I was doing last January when I was first starting out, these guys would hit me up. They'd say, "Hey, what's cooking? Good looking." Blah blah blah. They don't say that. They're not smart. They're not smart enough to say that.
That is dad flirt.
I don't mind dad flirts. Whatever. But they would hit me up and be like, "Hey, maybe we can hang sometime." I'm like, "Well, you could come say hi to me at an open mic." And for some reason, there was one guy who thought this meant we're going on a date. And I'm like, "No, I invited you to come out, feel the vibe, and check it out." And it was so awkward. He would try to buy me drinks, and he would just stare at me the whole time like this, like sitting across from me at the table, following me around. And I was much nicer, not in a good way. I was nicer back then, and I would just like harbor up resentment and not be direct with people. I've been working on getting better with that. I think you've seen me evolve.
Did he ask you to get in his Volkswagen?
He's...
Bundy style?
I forget what he did. He was... I must have blocked it out. I can't quite remember. What I do remember is he was following me around, sitting with me at all these tables, thinking we were like on some pseudo date. And I'm like, buddy, I'm performing. I'm networking. Like, this is not... I wasn't running the open mic. I was performing at it. And it's just burned into my mind. I wish I could erase this. Him just sitting there staring at me, mouth breathing like this.
Sounds hot.
He just stared at me like that from across the table. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm like, be gone. Do I smudge sage? Like, what do I do to get rid of this guy?
Wait, I'm not supposed to mouth breathe? I thought that's like my calling card when I talk to women.
No, I don't recommend it.
Like,
I mean, I'm a mouth breather, but that's...
Well, like, I have a pug, and I try to make the noises my pug makes.
Why?
Because I think it works. I would go... I don't really do that, but it'd be funny if I did.
It's a fun... It'd make her for a good bit. Dating advice from my pug. Pugs are great, though.
My dream, like, I'm never going to get married again, but I want my pug to find a husband, and I want to have a pug wedding. That's always been my dream.
That would be adorable.
And I'd love for you to play it.
Oh, okay. So I'll play for your dog's pug wedding. I'm already contracted to play for one of my friend's funerals. He's not dying soon.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't know yet, but he's like, if
Can you have mine too?
Oh my god, I have a wait list playing for people's funerals. Like, all of you people are gonna die before me. It's just gonna be me left playing for all your funerals.
I gotta think of the right song.
Oh no. I've played for so many funerals.
Have you really?
So many weddings, so many funerals. Oh. Yeah, on the pipe organ and piano.
Oh, wow. That's totally different vibes, each one.
Yeah. I like funerals more. I never talked about this on a podcast.
That's the most goth answer I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, no, I'm not a goth girl, though. Anyway, so those were some of my not fun experiences, and sometimes I have open mics where guys show up and they just think it's like, I can show up and I can try to hit her up. It's like, you can just try to talk to me like a normal person. Let me try this again. You can just talk to me like a normal person. You can try, but like, don't show up at my open mics and like bug me and think this is what, like, the dating show. Although one of my friends suggested I should try to make an open mic, try to like audition for a date at an open mic. One of my friends said we should try that. And I'm like, I cannot immediately refute that idea.
Let's try that.
Might be kind of funny. Charge a cover charge if for some kind of fundraising thing. Now all the guys will band together and be like, fuck that bitch now.
You can act like Simon Cowell.
Oh my god. And my friend was like, you could have a panel and you could just put the numbers up.
Oh man. People are going to get like 4.5 and stuff. Oh my god. You're going to ruin my life.
Wait, I could be like the Emperor and Gladiator. Oh no, that's terrible. But that's something that's been, as a woman, is not a fun open mic experience. Everyone says, oh, you should like all the attention. I don't. I just want to be treated like a normal person. Like, some of the compliments are nice, but like when it's excessive or unwanted or just like being just sexually harassed, that's not the vibe. That's not cool. And that's why I'm learning 2 martial arts, not just 1. So that's not fun. But have you had any unsavory experiences or and you don't have to like name names.
Yeah.
You can be very vague. I'm not saying like, let's dox these people. Nothing like that.
Yeah, the only thing that I have an issue with, and honestly, sometimes it's not even this person's fault. It's just the way they are. You know, like you'll get some diva behavior.
Oh, that's always fun.
Like, I need more monitor in my monitor. I had somebody ask for more something in their monitor one time, and I had forgotten. I forgot to bring a monitor that day.
Oops.
And like, but they were like, "Yeah, that's good." I'm like, oh, "Okay."
You didn't realize you didn't even have a monitor there.
Yeah, but yeah, like, I mean, a lot of the diva behavior comes from like sometimes a seasoned musician will come and like, you know, some people have egos, and that's okay. You can be talented and have. I'll try to be nice about everything. I'm sorry.
I don't care. I don't care.
But yeah. Sometimes you get diva behavior, and the only thing I don't like about it is it takes more time.
Yeah.
To get set up, it takes more time to, you know, it takes a space away from someone else sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So yeah, you can come in and be diva. It's cool. Just don't take time away. That's all. That's my
yeah. Yeah. I don't like that when that happens. Trying to think if there were any other But I mean, I've had a lot of fun, positive experiences. I've really expanded my network and really just my friend group too, not even just, ooh, professional connections. Bleh. I've made a lot of great memories. That's how I met you, how I met Jesse. Oh, and poor Jesse. So he was being friendly after I was pissed about this guy harassing
stabbed
me.
him.
No, I was a little stabby with him. Jesse was brave enough to introduce himself to me, not as like a date thing, not hitting on me. Just he really liked what I did music wise, and he was just like, "Hey, let's connect. You're cool. You really have a lot, going for you music wise and talent wise." And he was like, "Oh, can I get your next drink?" What was it I'd said to him? Yeah, I bet you'd like that. I was so mean to him.
Poor Jesse.
I was so stabby because I was mad at that guy because he had asked me if I ever went to the one brewery that we were at, if I was ever there on a Sunday, and he said, "Oh, if you come here on a Sunday, you can come home with me and we'll have a good time." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I was not leading the guy on.
Not on God's day.
Well, that's up for debate. That's up for debate.
I'm joking.
That's up for debate.
Shomer Shabbos.
But needless to say, I was furious. He even touched my shoulder blade. And he was asking if I was having like a hot flash, because I was getting hot because I was angry. This was again at a point in my life where I needed to work on being more vocal about boundaries. That's something I had also through open mic experiences, is learning how to set boundaries well with people. For me, I don't know what kind of life lessons or things that you've developed through open mics, but I got a bit more like personal growth through doing open mics. Like, oh, I can do comedy. Oh, I can do this. So it was a confidence boost, not from the positive feedback from other people, just me seeing myself being able to do things I didn't think I was able to do. So it wasn't like a crowd validation thing for me. And also, just the necessity of having to set boundaries, that I was going to have to do that. And I didn't need no guy. Like, don't get me wrong. I appreciate when my guy friends have my back. But if I go to an open mic and I don't know anybody, I have to be ready to say, no. You don't talk to me that way. No, you don't speak to me that way. And I am a weird person in that, I like to fight. I don't like to cause the fights, but if something else goes down, I'm like, let's go. I love watching UFC. I love watching boxing. You guys missed it. I don't think you could hear, but the cat got the zoomies when I said, let's go!
She's chasing her dreams.
She's chasing her dreams. So a lot of people, sometimes I've heard comedians say, I don't like dealing with hecklers. They throw me off. They upset me. You have seen me get excited.
Yeah.
When a heckler crops up. So
I think you're always going to get hecklers with comedy.
I love it. I love it. It is so much fun. I get excited by it. It gives me some kind of fuel because I do combat sports, so I'm kind of wired weird that way. So those are ways that outside of just growing musically, growing artistically, that I've had a lot of personal growth in ways that reading a self-help book, nothing like that. This is like, boom, nose to the grindstone, visceral, gotta figure out how to manage this interpersonal skill or I'm gonna get eaten alive. What are some things you feel like you grew or ways that your life was enriched by open mics?
It turned me into a more social person, I think, in a lot of ways, because I communicate with a lot of people. A lot of people ask me for advice, and musically and in a lot of different ways. And it's like, it's honor. It's a big honor that they do that. But at the same time, like it kind of also helped me believe in myself, because sometimes you don't know that you're decent at something until you get validation from it, and I don't do it for validation. I just do it to do it because it feels good. It feels good to be around artists, Yeah. But it really, the only thing that I could think of is it helped me socially. It helped me expand my creativity. I see people do certain things, and sometimes I'll be like, well, how did you do that? A lot of the storytellers, like, I take inspiration from them, and they it teaches me how to speak publicly better.
Yeah,
like things like that.
Oh yeah, it's really good for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when did you first start running an open mic? Was that in that would have been before 2019?
It would have been like 2013.
2013?
When I first started doing those.
Oh, okay. How did it end up getting? So that was that not Donkey Kong.
I was on Donkey Show Thursdays.
Donkey Show Thursdays. So that was Donkey Show Thursdays.
Were you in college then? 2013.
I was, but I had transferred back to.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah, I would have. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I would have been in state college.
Did you ever go to Donkey Show Thursdays?
I did not. I was too cool for that because I was studying classical music.
Did you go to the brewery at all?
I did not. I didn't really drink that much in college.
Yeah. It was like the floors are sticky and it smells absolutely horrible, but it's such a good time.
Good.
I love dives.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I never took you out. I never took you over to that little dive bar I sometimes float into.
What's it called?
The Whistle Stop.
That sounds like an old school dive.
Oh, it is. It is. It smells like an ashtray. It's terrible.
Oh, I love it. I love it already.
I love to go in there and just bitch with my old guy friends. It's so much fun. Usually, like, the day drinkers are a totally different vibe from night drinkers. Day drinkers are just, you can BS, and everyone's like, well, it's 3:30, I gotta roll on out.
Do you ever notice, like, being a writer, it really depends on the location. It doesn't matter what you're writing about. It really depends on the location in which you're writing whatever you're writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're writing in a dive bar, it, like...
Charles Bukowski vibe.
Yeah, you get taken somewhere and like, yeah. So yeah.
It is fun. Yeah. I have written some things and done that.
Yeah, I can't write in Starbucks. There's certain places I can't write in.
I did homework really well in Starbucks.
Yeah.
I did a lot of homework.
I have to have like a genuine human connection type vibe. You know what I mean? Like going to Webster. I love going to Webster's.
I love Webster's. Yeah. Oh my, we still have to go to Webster's sometime. Yeah. I love Webster's.
But yeah, like I write in there all the time. And like, I don't want this to sound creepy, but I'm sometimes like a people watcher and I like to hear.
People watching is fun.
I like to hear like conversations, like, and sometimes those conversations give me inspirations for songs and stuff.
Yep.
I've heard breakups. I've heard first dates go amazing. Like,
oh, that's so cute.
Like things like that. You know what I mean? Like I've heard people talking about like cheating on their girlfriends to their friends. Like I hear things. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fun to listen to. Though.
Yeah.
Eavesdropping is fun.
It's just like a human interaction without being part of it. You know.
I always wonder. Even like if you and Jesse and I are out, or if I'm out with Rob when people are eavesdropping, and I see people look and they have this look on their face. I'm like, I just said that.
Yeah, there's some wild conversations. So yeah, absolutely.
How was that when you first started running an open mic? I was nervous. It got placed upon my lap in July. It was kind of a last second thing. I had to fill in a lot of time. So I was pretty...
It wasn't successful at first. Like, because you have to learn kind of on the go.
Yeah. You know? Did you have a lot of people or how did that...
it was hit or miss. And I was like, why is it like this? And it
just is.
You just learn... You learn how to market and promote to the right people.
Yeah. That
would be interested in it. Not everyone's... That's not everyone's vibe, and that's okay. But it's a fun vibe. And I if you haven't gone to one or performed at one, like it's an experience, and I think most people would have a good time doing that. So,
even just going to watch is there's got to be audience people. Like go and just add to it. If you don't feel comfortable being in front of people, that's fine. Just go. You don't have to. Maybe you're tone deaf. That is legit a medical problem. Like the little bones in your ears, you can't hear and match pitch. Like,
yeah,
that's a thing. Some people have that. So if you just want to go and watch, you want to support, you want to be there for your besties, go bring business to the breweries or the bars, the different places that you go to. Like, that's fine too. You're going to have a blast. And you're going to see some of those moments that like, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, and us being organizers, for open mics and other events and
we
stuff.
like to get bodies in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to talk to other organizers, and I like to go to other organizers' events and be like, and I learn from them. You know what I mean? It's not a competition. Like I learn from them, and I'm like, well, I noticed that they're doing something. I'm not stealing ideas, don't get me wrong. I noticed that they're doing something that is working really well. Like how you organized with the pre-sign up. Yeah. I didn't used to do that until I went to your open mic.
Really?
And I saw that it brings more bodies in because, you have people already signed up. You know what I mean? It's not hit or miss. So you automatically have that. And now your pre-sign-ups usually get filled up right away. Mine get filled up right away. A lot of them do. You know what I mean? So like a lot of us organizers work together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's no feuds or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like an. I'm accidentally getting a little bit of an open mic empire because I run 2. There's rumor of me expanding to a 3rd.
Yeah. You gonna do it? Do you have time for that?
I have to present the idea because it's not something that would be able to be in fruition until closer to summer. So it'll be a little bit more exclusive. We'll see. So
yeah, and every week there's a different open mic going on somewhere.
Yeah,
like between Altoona State College,
let's even look.
Huntington, Lewistown. Like, so,
oh yeah.
If you're in this area,
which ones do we have? We should.
You have Levity, and that's on a Tuesday once a month.
First Tuesday.
Mine's the second Thursday at Juniata Brewing Company. And then McGarvey's is on a Thursday.
It's going to be a Thursday this month, and it'll be the...
Sometimes it's a Wednesday, though.
Sometimes
right?
it's a Wednesday. The next two for the next 2 months, it's going to be the last Thursday. So the next one is April 25th. That's McGarvey's and Juniata.
I had someone message me recently, and I'll comment on this where it is, but it's at somewhere in Lewistown. They were just starting an open mic, and they messaged me about it and like how to make it work and stuff. So there's one at Anti-Fragile in State College.
That one, they don't do a pre-sign-up. You just have to show up, right?
Okay, I think so, yeah. I heard that one.
I want to hit that one up sometime. I just have too much on my plate. So summertime is going to be more of my performing because... Passover and Easter and Jesus Christ Superstar. I don't have a life.
There's a country singer. His name's Derek Heidel. If I can remember where it's at, he does an open mic once a month too, and apparently that one goes off really well. I think it's at a whiskey distillery.
Oh wait, so we're doing March 28th this month for McGarvey's. Then we're doing April 25th. So those are both Thursdays. So we don't have May and June set yet, but Rich... What do we want to... How does he always... Father Rich has selected those days, so we all abide by Father Rich's wishes. Woo!
Man, the amount of stuff that guy juggles, though, for real. That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, McGarvey's is a great vibe. Rich is a good dude.
And there's, like, a bunch of stuff going on at the same time. Like, you had an open mic the same night that the Dart...
That was hilarious, and somebody yelled, "Turn it down!" Somebody had screamed at the top of their lungs. That was hilarious.
But listen, by the end, they were all having fun.
And
the Dart people. Yeah, I thought it was
Rich
cool.
had apologized. I was like, I don't care. I was like, this is fine.
Yeah, it was pretty rad. Yeah. I bet some of those people might come back too because they seemed like they had a good time. It was a good vibe. It
had a double book. There was pool going on, pool league, dart league, and open mic at the same time. It was great. Rick had come out to that. He said it was one of the best open mics he had been to. You said it was one of the best. Jesse had said it was one of the best. So we had a little bit of comedy. We had guitar. We had hip hop. So that was fun. That was a chaotic open mic, but that was a blast. That was when I first played the accordion.
Oh yeah,
that's cool. And that's what helped me expand out to the accordion. So now my friends are bugging me. They're like, "You should start a klezmer band." And I'm like, "Oh boy, at what time? Like, I'll have to start doing cocaine to keep up with everything." I'm kidding. You're not letting me ever do that.
Don't do cocaine.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. I have to watch. I have to tell people it's a joke. It's a joke. So,
Cocaine Nettie.
No,
2025.
That would be way worse than Cocaine Bear. We don't need that. No way. I would never. I'd probably just drop over.
It'd make for a cool horror movie.
There'd
be a lot of deaths.
Can you imagine? I'd be like a weapon of mass destruction. We don't need that.
Until we do. No.
I mean, release the Kraken.
If America ever gets attacked, we're just going to have Nettie do some lines and see what happens. She'll be like Chuck Norris.
It would be true with my temper. It makes my face hurt.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do that. This is a joke. This is all a joke. Relax, folks. It's a joke. So there's also an open mic the third Thursday of every month at Spring Dam Brewing Company.
That one's a really good one too. Yeah.
There's Art Alliance. Let me check. There's the Art Alliance. They do one.
Is that in Altoona?
Yes. Okay. Art Alliance. Where do they? Altoona Art Alliance. Where is this? I gotta look. Art Alliance. Oh, I can't find it. I can't find that one. I'm not sure when their next open mic is, but there's Altoona Art. I don't know. Huh.
If anyone else knows any open mics, just put it under the comments.
Comment them, yeah.
And I'll put some under the comments too once we remember all the dates and stuff.
Sherry Dilling is usually...
Is that the Arts Altoona?
That's weird. Why?
And I think that one's an all ages one.
Why does she not have a... Yeah. You're playing for something with that, March 16th, right?
Oh, yeah, it's this week.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
You're doing it!
My friend's on tour. He's coming through, so I think he asked me to do that.
Let me see. Why is... Albums. Where does she have... She's usually promoting a lot of open mics.
Also, if you're an artist and you're on vacation, I bet within a 15-mile radius, especially if it's like a vacation area, you'll be able to find an open mic. And that's always fun to do when you're on vacation.
Yeah.
I like doing that. Unless you're trying to decompress from your arts, then don't do that.
Yeah, they're doing... let me take a look here. Yeah, we'll just have to maybe just add to the comments the open mics that we find.
Does 4Ds have one?
I am not aware. If they do, I am not aware. Oh, Unter Uns Musical and Entertainment Society, they do an open jam night is what they call it. So they do that every Wednesday, 7 to 10. Every Wednesday.
Wasn't there one in like Indiana that you were going to go to?
Oh, yeah, at the original Levity Brewing, Levity, Indiana. They usually do that on some Thursday. Like, basically, if you just look up open mic Central PA, there's going to be a lot. Central PA, let me look. Open mics in South Central PA. Oh, I should join that. Open mic crew. Yeah, there's a ton. Okay, here we go. Oh, that was last year. So yeah, just look, there's one up in Clearfield. Clearfield gets me sketched out though, so I don't like to go up there.
It's actually a pretty decent scene, surprisingly.
Is
they
it?
Actually have this really cool festival they do every year called Upstage Music Festival. Like thousands of people go to it. It's pretty rad.
Oh, good.
I vended there last year. It was pretty wild.
Oh, I think you were sending me videos. I think I was having one of my wine afternoons, and you were sending me them. I'm looking all bleary eyed. Like,
well, I was like side stage, and like they actually booked like some really big acts to play.
No,
that.
they do.
Yeah,
they have a little bit more of like a heavy metal scene up there. Yeah, a little bit.
So it might, in each open mic might have a different vibe, and that's okay.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You find out which ones work and which ones might not work.
Yeah, because McGarvey's for me is usually more where comedians kind of show up. I don't know how to describe it. There's usually a little bit more variety that I have. But there's been a lot of variety at Levity, so I don't know, it's kind of weird which kind of open mic hosts sort of attract the vibes. I don't know if what would you say like your vibe is that you attract? I attract sort of individualist.
I get a lot of like folk and bluegrass.
Oh yeah, and I don't.
I get a lot of folk and bluegrass. You get a mix of like hip hop and rock and
comedy.
Rap. Yeah. Speaking of hip hop, there's like this really young generation of like kids. Some of them are still in high school.
Oh yeah.
That are from Altoona that have a really cool hip hop scene going on.
Right
one guy's named Manny Moss, I think his name is. And what's that girl's name? She sounds like Alicia Keys. Begins with an A.
I forget.
Yeah, I think she's still in high school too. But
we're getting old.
Yeah. These it's cool. I love how these musicians are still. I love how music's still like a big part of like young people's lives.
Adia Rivera.
Yeah, that girl was like the next Alicia Keys.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Music. I took my son to see her perform at the Altoona Grand, and there was like a ton of great artists that played that night. Yeah. That makes me really happy. I mean, then you have like the Pines. I think they're still young kids.
Oh my God, yeah.
Abstantageous.
Yeah, that one I don't know. I don't know.
They're
that
like
name.
a Pines, skate punk band. Sweet Desire's pretty young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Altoona's really hopping with the kids, yo.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like an old man that shovels mulch and
get off my lawn.
Knows my lawn and wears New Balance.
We're getting a little old.
It's okay. It's cool to watch that though. I hope one of those people break out though.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to like put this town on the map a little bit,
Well, like it's just really nice in this place. It's just a small city. You know what I mean? Like just 40,000 people.
It's hard for artists though because you're right in between the two cities,
Yeah.
And a lot of people, some people don't have the money to venture out. Some people don't have the means to venture out, and some people don't want to take the risk. And there's a lot of artists around here that I think could break out and do some big stuff. And all I can say is like take the risk while you can. That'd be great. Hey.
But yeah, that's been our experience with open mics. Like, what would your... So we've been at it an hour. We have some music to rehearse as well. So we're working and collabing on some stuff. I really gotta... My nose, the temperature shift, my nose is really stuffy. So It's not just my voice this time, folks. My nose is really stuffy because we had a big temperature shift.
Am I the only person, I might be oversharing here, that puts Vicks in his nostrils when I have a cold?
I think I have relatives that do that.
That's an old person thing, isn't it?
It is. My mom always tries to make me put Vicks on my chest, and I'm like, eh, and it's like a sensory thing, and I feel like I just put glue all over my collarbones. I'm like, eh. I hate that, and it gets in my hair. Ew. I hate Vicks, but it seems to be like the miracle cure for everything. There we go. But
words not wording today.
They are not. So what would you say to someone who's tossing around going to open mics? Like, what would you say, the little encouraging, you can do it? What would you say?
If you don't think you're comfortable yet, come and watch them. Come to one, watch them, talk to the organizer. Be like, I'm thinking about doing this. How do I do it? Usually it's real easy. You just pre-sign up or you show up. I try to fit in people that even just show up. My open mics are supposed to end at like 9. Some of them don't end till like 10 because I'm like, I got to get everybody. I want everybody to play.
Right.
I really do. Yeah. And
I try to not leave people out too.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. And it feels good though too, because it's like, oh, these artists are coming. This is great. And then a lot of them become friends with each other. And then next thing you know, they're playing shows with each other. And then I'm going to their shows and it feels awesome.
Yeah.
And some of them will be like, yeah, we started here. And I think that's really cool.
It's really great for the networking, the collaboration. And for me, comedy-wise, open mics are bread and butter. For if you're trying to become a comedian, forget the first one you do. If you bomb, if people don't laugh at you, you got to keep doing it. It's an art, and you need an audience for comedy. Because you got to hear what doesn't work. It's like jiu-jitsu and comedy, their similarities, or just the artistic process in general. Because there's an art in martial arts. So if you have these dreams of becoming a comedian, it's a very long grind. You got to find every single open mic in your area, and you've got to try your jokes out. You got to see how they go. You got to see how they're received. It's a transaction type thing.
I just heard about how like Kim Congdon, Andrew Santino, and who's the other guy? They go to like just random open mics, and they're like really established comics.
Yeah.
They'll go to random open mics. Some people won't notice them, and that's how they want it, okay? And that's how they put hours together. They'll do like a little 15-minute bit at a time, and then eventually they piece together their whole hour. And sometimes they talk about how it takes them years sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Because they say most of this stuff doesn't work.
Yeah.
So like,
and then there's stuff you don't expect it to be just takes off with the crowd. Because I've said one, I don't even remember specifically. I said something and people are like wheezing and they're like crying. They're laughing so hard. I think it was something about my pleather. I said I'm wearing my pleather leggings, and everybody like wheezed. You were there that night. I was
it's the way you like enunciate words. Like you do the Norm Macdonald thing sometimes. You know what I mean? Like his jokes, the way he interprets his jokes is even funnier than the jokes itself, and I think that's awesome. And you have really good quality jokes too.
Thanks.
Yeah, but like,
what was the stupid tie up I had at the end? It was a pleather speaking with you all today, and everybody lost it.
It's totally about the way you enunciate that.
And the Barbie thing took off. But open mics are important to know what doesn't work. There's been times where I thought everyone was going to laugh at it. I had a whole peach bit. Nobody liked it.
With the thing?
Yeah.
I liked the peach.
Nobody liked it.
I think you did it twice. Did you do it twice?
Did I do it twice?
I think you did.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Well, I think I did it once at Spring Dam Brewing. But people seemed to like it there. And then I was at Levity and everyone's looking at me like, reet, 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 like cricket noises. Reet, reet. So if you're thinking of getting into comedy, open mics are a must. And you got to get over the couple that you bomb. I've had times where I just wasn't in the mood to be funny, and I bombed because I just was like, I think I said something like, I don't feel like being funny, and everybody laughed at that, and I just was kind of being a cantankerous old man, and then it just kind of kept going from there, and it actually became funny because I was just complaining about everything. So that was kind of...
Yeah. Hit that, like, if you bomb, which I think any comedian... Everyone says they bomb at one time.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, that's what I'm kind of scared of myself. But I got to do that. I got to pull that Band-Aid off. But if you bomb, don't wait a whole nother month to go to that same open mic.
You just gotta...
Go to another one next week.
Yep.
And then once you get that bit established, or you have another bit, then go to the open mic that you bombed at, and you'll find out that...
You get over it.
Maybe it was the way you enunciated it. Maybe the joke sucked. And that's okay. You know the joke sucks then. And then you know what's funny and what's not funny.
You have to be really resilient with comedy.
Yeah.
I've done that music-wise too, but there's a little bit more of a comfort blanket, there's a little bit of a comfort having your instrument, having a way to get back into your song. There's a map. There's a way to get out. But when you bomb in comedy, it's like, you're just... You're so exposed, and like there's the only person who can help you get out is you. It's rough, that feeling.
It's also the room too. Like some people, I mean, if you go to a certain room where it's a certain type of people, if it's like a country-ish bar or something, I mean, some people, that's just what they like certain things, they don't like certain things. Doesn't mean they're completely jaded people. Some people just aren't open to certain things. Like I found out really quick that like if I go to a country bar, I'm not going to be playing like the Mountain Goats and Andrew Jackson Jihad covers. You know what I mean? Like that stuff doesn't work. But if I play that to a college crowd, it's going to work. You know what I mean?
That, but I mean, how much are you going to go out of being outside of who you are?
That is true. I mean, sometimes you got to
be yourself.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I totally agree with that. Sometimes you got to like, I guess, read the room in a way. And what I learned is, I'm not going to book myself at certain places. Yeah. That's kind of what I was getting to.
Yeah. I think the Clearfield scene might not be... I mean, maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it out up in that area, but I'm not sure that the way I present myself in my comedy is for a... I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because there have been people who loved my comedy and I was not expecting it. So don't box yourself in. Work the room a little bit. Like, I've had to caution some comedians, like at Levity, they serve food, so there are kids that show up. A lot of comedians like to work, like, they want to work blue. And I have to tell them, look, we don't want to hurt the business at Levity because they do serve food, so there's families that come in and they just want to have a beer. And like, but there's 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds there. You need to put yourself at a later slot, or you need to come over to McGarvey's if all of your material is working blue. Like, you gotta have a clean set. I'm not someone who's a successful comedian. I'm just someone who's got a year of experience. And I tell people you gotta have something clean that's funny, even if it feels cheesy to you, even if it feels stupid. You gotta have it. You have to. Like, I lean into offensive comedy in a different way. I do shock value in a different way because I also... Like, talking on the podcast, obviously, I've sworn a bit and stuff, and I put the little asterisks in there, but I also teach a lot of kids, so I can't do... And that's not my style anyway. Like, that super, like, raunchy stuff is just not me. I do swear a little bit, but...
You can't do the goat bit for 3-year-olds.
How did I do that? Like, how did that go? Oh! I forgot about that bit where I made a goat noise! Yeah, no.
I mean, just the noise itself might be cool, but not the Satan part.
Well, the kids, I think that would go over their head, but like what do you want to say? Like, everybody always seems to have a dirty set. I might be the only one that does not have like a really filthy set. It's just not me. I'm a little bit more like silly, goofy, long form, less filthy Lenny Bruce. And that's something fun about open mics too. You'll discover more of who you are. I'm like, I don't really like most of my source material for comedy to be working blue. Not that I don't have the capability. I'm a grown ass woman. Like, yeah, I can handle and deliver a dirty joke with the best of them, but it's just not where my comedy shines.
It's probably hard to be a cleaner comic. I mean, Jim Gaffigan does a really good job at it.
And also, who was the other guy? Nate Bargatze. He never swears. His comedy is amazing. Also, Modi Rosenfeld. He does a lot of, but he's very niche, in a lot of Jewish comedy. But, so then, it's going to be family events, it's going to be things like that, but he doesn't lean into a lot of, like, filthy material. So it's not, that would be my advice for people that are going to do comedy. I have seen most comics bomb because all they do is raunchy jokes, and people just don't always like that, especially in central Pennsylvania. People just don't always like that. Central PA is interesting in that you might see a baby in a bar. Kind of like Sweet Home Alabama. You might see a lady with a 2-year-old at the bar. She might not be drinking, but she's got her 2-year-old there. So I would tell comedians that's when I see them bomb the most. I get to see a lot of new comedians bomb. You need to pronounce things better, number one. I'm not saying this to anyone specifically. If people ask me for advice, I will tell them, but I don't deliver it unsolicited because nothing's worse. Nothing is worse than unsolicited advice. That is the worst if the atmosphere is not open for it. That's what I would say specifically for comedians. Musicians, it's a grind too. Bombing as a musician is easier, believe it or I think.
Yeah, because you're going to either suck at your instrument or suck at the vocals. It's a lot of the times it's not both.
And you can find a way to
you can balance it out somehow.
You have a map, a road map, but it's just dead silence and people are just sort of coughing, and then you get the hecklers if somebody's been drinking enough. Comedy is scarier. So what are some things like, that's what I discovered about my own personality.
Political comedy, I've seen that bomb a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's because like it's always going to be divided. So it's hard.
I kind of have a Tim Dillon style where I like to cut down both. You've seen me do that. I love going after both of them because I don't care about politics. But that's what I discovered about my personality through open mics too, is that I didn't realize that I am not afraid of confrontation. I'm only just afraid of hurting people's feelings, and I'm getting over that a bit. Number one, I'm not afraid of confrontation. I just don't like hurting people's feelings too much or being perceived as mean, and I'm getting over that. So I can think on my feet really quick, because I can't say I've ever had a where I bombed, where one, I didn't just let it happen. There was one time I bombed and I just said, I don't care today. So I bombed and I didn't care. And another thing was, I pivot. I have pivot points. So for me, bombing with music, I don't worry about it. I'm more used to it. It's more bombing with comedy. So I was surprised at how much I can pivot. I can land on my feet, comedy-wise. That really was something I discovered about myself that I didn't know I was able to do. What are things you discovered about yourself through open mic other than like...
I overjudge myself. Like, if I hit a wrong note or something... And this is one thing you need to know. If you hit a wrong note every once in a while, like, no one's going to notice, actually.
Nope.
Except the most jaded, old school
Some people will point that out.
Musician in the crowd, he'll let you know, always.
You hit that wrong chord. You hit the wrong note.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, it happens.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I'll be like, wow, I played that song in the wrong key because I played it in the same key as the other song. Things like that. But most of the time people don't notice. I forgot the lyrics for this one verse. Oh God, I suck. And then you got to not let it ruin your whole set.
Sometimes music is fun because you can just sort of make something up or just do a melisma. Like I did that with Don't Mess Around with Jim. And my friend Eric never lets me forget how I bombed. Every time I see him, he's like, you should have heard her. She did such a shitty job when she did Don't Mess Around with Jim. Completely messed up the chords and the lyrics, but she came back from it. And I'm like, great. I became a legend through bombing my song. He's like, yeah, you bombed it. He's like, you biffed it. You were horrible, but you came back. You just got right back on the horse. I'm like, thanks for remembering an embarrassing moment and continually replaying it. I appreciate that.
Comeback king over here.
Apparently, that's what he's like. He's like, she's a true professional. And I know he's making you a compliment, but at the same time, I'm like, great. So there's times when I'm sleeping at night and I'm like, nobody remembers that embarrassing thing I did. They do remember the embarrassing thing I did. I'm like, that's just great.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
So, but yeah, it's been a great experience. I don't regret doing open mics, and I would say it's really opened up a part of my life where was ready to be filled with more creatives. People like you.
Oh, thanks.
But tell us about your shows coming up, your projects, your open mics. Because we've been talking long enough. We probably should rehearse soon.
I have a ton of vending stuff coming up for I Smash Guitars, my upcycling business. I don't know all the dates. I can put them in the comments. There's a lot going on.
Go for it.
Yeah. And then I have a museum, an oddities museum that I set up at places called Kevo's Traveling Oddities Museum, and I have a couple dates for that. I'm playing this Saturday at Arts Altoona, my solo act, Kevo Can't Dance. This Thursday I have the open mic at JBC, so
I'll
sign
be there.
up. Yeah, Juniata Brewing Company open mic, so look it up online, and sign up if you got some spaces open. If not, bring your instruments or whatever anyway, and I will put you in. I will find a way to squeeze you in somehow. Yeah, how about you? What do you got going on?
I'll be at your open mic. We've got open mic at McGarvey's is going to be the last Thursday of March, as declared by Father Rich. So that's going to be March 28th, 6 to 9 p.m. I think you had asked me about doing a show, but I can't because I have to play for one of the churches. Because it's... What date was that show you said you were doing?
Oh yeah, I have a show at the end of the month at JBC, but I don't remember when it is.
Is it the 30th?
I think it's the 30th. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the big one. I gotta play for 2 churches, and
that's another thing. When I book shows now, sometimes I'll get the open mic music, some of those musicians as the openers, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, I'd like to do. Maybe.
And then eventually they headline.
I'd have to see. Then we got Jesus Christ Superstar. I'll be second pianist for that. So it'll be April 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can pre-order tickets. And then also April 10th, 11th, 12th, and the 13th. And I also play pipe organ for the 2 churches. So if you ever want to come in, it really doesn't matter. They're not going to check your Jesus card at the door. Because, I got through, so.
Does anyone ever say good set?
I say, what's funny is I'm not thinking, and I'll check in with the speakers, and I'll be, the people who are delivering the message, I'll be like, hey, you ready to go? And they'll be like, yeah, good, you can start the prelude. And I'll say, let's rock and roll! And people are like, I've never heard an organist say that. So, yeah, there's that.
Be cool if you had pyrotechnics.
You know who did that? Virgil Fox.
Wait, that, they had pyrotechnics at a church?
Yes, he had light shows and he had smoke.
That's pretty rad.
He smokes different he made it a psychedelic experience. So there's that. What else? So I have that. Those are my big projects coming up. And I'm sure we'll have another podcast episode out and things like that. Does Jesse have any shows coming up?
I'm probably going to put him on the one I have at JBC on the 30th. I think if he's available. I don't know. Jesse's shows just pop up.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
Yeah, I'm sure he has stuff. I'll ask him.
Yeah, so that's what I have. I'll list all that stuff in there. And open mic at Levity is going to be the first. Hello, Kitty. She just popped out from under the table. She loves being part of this. What?
Oh.
I don't know if you guys could hear her. What do you want?
She's letting people know when her shows are.
Yeah, right. That'll be April 2nd. I'm going to be hosting open mic at Levity. So I'll get that information up so you guys can block that time out in your calendar. So I always have that the first Tuesday of every month. And the next 2 months, March and April, is the open mic at McGarvey's. Usually get some good comedians, a good variety there. And it's a good variety at Levity too. So it's always a blast. And love seeing people out there sharing their talents. So I was wondering if she was licking my chair. My cat's weird, but
I always like it when cats give that random love bite that you don't expect.
Bella does that. She doesn't do that. Bella does, and he'll get mad if I'm not petting him enough, and he'll just do that. Ugh. Yeah, he doesn't break the skin, but he gets a little pet me. So yeah. Well, thank you again, Kevin. Yeah. Kevo Can't Dance.
Absolutely.
For coming on the podcast and sharing, and it's kind of fun if you compare how our conversation from what was it, August? It would be funny to compare and contrast also the camera quality upgrade here. We're in 4K. And also the microphone quality, because I'm just learning as I go. That's another thing. If you're starting a project, putting yourself out there, doing anything, just learn as you go. Don't try to be perfect when you first start. If you listen to my first podcast episode up to now, you hear me change as a person. You hear my English deteriorate as I study 6 languages.
Yeah, you don't have to wait until you're an expert at something.
No. Yeah. You learn as you go. The only reason that the greats like Mozart, Bach, it's just their first drafts just probably don't exist anymore, just lost to time. So that's the only... There's just not a historical record of some people who are greats, because, everything's on social media now. So be authentic. Be you. Go out there and express yourself. Or don't express yourself. Support other people doing it, because we need that too. Not everybody is meant to be that kind of expressiveness. And that's fine. Just go out there, have a good time. Either being part of the audience, being part of that supportive group, supporting all the great breweries and bars that we have in the area. Because it's great to have this. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you again, Kevin. Any parting words or parting advice or any extra rah-rah? What do you want to say? Rah-rah, pom-poms.
Follow Kitty on Instagram. She does music and art too.
I wonder if I should make an Instagram account for her.
You should let her paint with her paws.
She would. Just like set the canvas on here.
No, I don't got anything really to say. I think we covered everything. Yeah. It's a good time.
Thank you for listening, guys, and catch you on the flippity flip. Bye.